The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Welcome to today's webinar, ProNest FabSuite Integration. My name is Michelle Avila, and I'm your moderator for today. We're going to go over some quick housekeeping for our live attendees. You will receive the following early next week: a copy of the webinar slides that you're going to see on your screen today, a link to watch the recorded version of this webinar, and a certificate of attendance. These are questions that we get all the time, so I figure I would just answer them right now for you. There you go. Again, that email will be sent to you early next week. Our presenters, we have Steve Burtkin, who's a product manager for Hypertherm CAD/CAM software, and Amy Davis, who's a software developer with FabSuite. Before I hand things off to them, though, just want to tell you a little bit about Hypertherm. So Hypertherm was founded in 1968 in Hanover, New Hampshire, and that's where we continue to be headquartered today. We are an associate-owned company, so fancy way of saying we are an employee-owned company with more than 1,400 associates around the world. We devote more engineering resources to cutting research and development than any other company, with more than 120 cutting patents. Our brand new product, the XPR, is going to add another 30 or so patents to that list. We have a bunch of patents that are pending right now, and we work to continuously improve the cut quality, productivity, operating cost, and the reliability of our systems. Our products: we have plasma, laser, and water jet products, in addition to Hypertherm automation, so that would be CNCs and torch height controls, software, the subject of today's webinar, CAD/CAM nesting software, and also robotic software, and consumables for both Hypertherm and non-Hypertherm systems. A little bit about FabSuite. FabSuite was founded by Bill Isler in 2000. They are headquartered in Virginia, so not too far away from us, and have regional representatives worldwide, including Amy. So Amy and Steve, I'm going to hand things off to you right now.
Thank you. This is Steve Burtkin. So today we're going to show you how to reduce waste and minimize material efficiency via the FabSuite integration with Hypertherm's ProNest CAD/CAM software. So ProNest is advanced CAD/CAM nesting software used by those who want to cut parts with laser, water jet, plasma, oxy-fuel, and combination punch process. It provides a CAD import through NC file output ready for cutting, where much of the process is managed automatically without manual intervention, as you'll see. ProNest is designed with a modular architecture with the main core module with optional modules that can be added to deliver the specific features that are right for the user's business scenario. ProNest is recognized for boosting productivity, increased efficiency, enabling faster programming, ease of use, offering a single software solution for multi-process, all of which enable users to accomplish more. Lower costs through material savings and operating cost savings, and also improved part quality. Better finished part quality reduces the need for a secondary process. What sets ProNest apart? It's a Hypertherm difference. ProNest is brought to you by Hypertherm industrial cutting experts with nearly 50 years of plasma, laser, and water jet experience to their name, and more than 120 technology-related patents. 100% employee-owned. Hypertherm's core values include honesty, integrity in the business, and excellence in technology innovation. As a result, across the globe, Hypertherm products are known for quality, consistency, and reliability. Hypertherm is a world leader in advanced plasma technology and excels in delivering automated machine motion and cut solutions, whether it's a deep understanding of traditional XY cut motion or development of special applications like 5-axis bevel cutting. Hypertherm knows cutting machine automation better than any other software provider. Hypertherm is a multi-technology company. We build plasma and water jet systems from the ground up, offer fiber laser power sources. Its expertise is reflected in our software, giving you the confidence to know you can handle any situation regardless of the cut process or technology. SureCut technology is a breakthrough technology where ProNest is the only software that provides full support for Hypertherm's SureCut technologies, including TrueHole, Rapid Part, which are delivered automatically without operator intervention, and True Bevel, which greatly reduces the bevel setup time. SureCut technologies are applied without the need for a highly skilled operator. Process expertise. Because Hypertherm develops both hardware and software, it is uniquely positioned to provide users with the cutting parameters needed to be successful right from day one. ProNest draws on years of research and development and delivers optimal outcomes based on the factory tested and proven parameters including lead separations, kerf feed rates, and cutting techniques. ProNest does more than any other software to automatically embed this cut process expertise into the numerical control or code. So this is a brief overview of FabSuite. It maximizes material efficiencies and waste and reduces waste by efficiently managing our inventory and supplies. FabSuite ensures that only purchase the material that you need when you need it, nesting to remnants, in particular, optimizing bars and sheets that can help significantly reduce waste. It improves productivity and reduce cost. FabSuite's production and purchasing tools can help reduce the time spent on high cost tasks such as material handling and cutting, because you are only cutting a bar or a sheet once and not multiple times. Reducing errors and saving time. FabSuite imports data directly from authorized tools to eradicate the manual data entry and inherent risks of human error. This data is then used to drive the creation of quotes, purchase orders, invoicing, and shipping notes. Full traceability. Another primary focus of FabSuite is material traceability. By recording key information such as heat lot numbers, mills, country of origin, and storing associated bill of certificates, FabSuite delivers a full material traceability for your product. FabSuite will also record and maintain history of your entire fabrication procedure, so that at any point you can recall and see who did what and where and when, and how to comply with government and industrial imposed regulations. So the ProNest FabSuite integration, the integration benefits are exchange job information such as part and plate in real time, time-saving and manual error reduction via reduced manual intervention. Part and plate information that's already in FabSuite, why print this out as a traveler document, only for a Nest operator to have to manually spend time re-entering it with the potential for keystroke errors. Running fully data-driven operations. Data is power, and the accuracy of data is full power. Through the FabSuite ProNest integration, leveraging real-time data exchange to generate reports, insights to how your cutting operations are going. Reduce order and ship time through more efficiency, job automation. Saving time by entering job information can be translated into completing jobs more quickly, meaning that you can ship parts to the next process, to the customer, or to the job site faster, achieving better on-time deliveries. How this integration operates, the bill of material data is is exchanged from FabSuite to ProNest, containing the part plate and quantity details. ProNest loads the BOM to its part and plate list, automatically assigning shortcut process parameters, including true hole, rapid part, and true bevel, lead in, lead outs, then proceeds to automatically nest the job and output the CNC file for cutting and reports for operators and managers. ProNest creates a report file containing the details of what was nested, plates consumed, plate remnants, and returns it back to FabSuite for updating. So at this point, we're going to turn it over to Amy, and she's going to show us how it all works.
All right, thanks, Steve.
All right, so Amy, you should be able to show your screen now. There you go.
Okay, that's showing properly now?
Yes, looks great.
Okay, terrific. So as you know, I'm Amy Davis. I'm the developer that wrote a good portion of this integration, and I'm just excited to show it off to you. So we're going to start by bringing a job into FabSuite. We import a bill of material from just about any CAD package, any modern CAD package in existence. Most will export a KISS file, so we're going to bring in a KISS file. FabSuite will automatically populate the job name and some of the fields. There's a lot of fields you can change on input. I'm going to just leave the defaults. It asks a few questions as it comes in. This is an unrecognized material in this job. It also has the opportunity to import drawings and CNC files. My CNC files for my plates are in DXF, so I'm going to bring in those DXF files that will give the CNC information for this job that I'm importing. Lets me know that I didn't bring in drawings and that I didn't bring in CNC files for my other shapes of material. We're going to open up this job. And here in the middle, you can see the bill of material information. The bold lines are your assemblies. The not bold lines are the subparts in the assemblies. If I want to see just the assemblies for one particular drawing sheet, I can highlight it on the left. Or if I want to see everything of just one shape, for example, the plates are what ProNest cares about. So I highlight that, and these are the plates. We create a nest by creating a combining run in FabSuite. So I click Nest, and I have to select the sizes of plate I want to nest. I'm just going to choose 2 of them, but you can do as few or as many as you want. I have ProNest set up as my plate nesting software. This can be FabSuite as well. We've chosen to use ProNest to nest. It gives a better nest than FabSuite. We're going to send this to ProNest for nesting. When we send it, it will include all the parts to nest. It'll include the inventory we can use. I'm allowing it to just send full sheets from inventory right now. It'll also include CNC for all those parts. It'll send over those same DXF files that we brought from the CAD software into FabSuite. We'll go over to ProNest now. We're going to import that part list. It brings along with it the plate list. And here are the parts from FabSuite. So we're going to open up the plate list and see what FabSuite released for nesting. So I've got a 28 3/8 inch thick plate, 14 half-inch plate by 48, and 12 half-inch plate by 96. Let's hop back over to FabSuite, and we'll look at FabSuite inventory to see this match. So we'll highlight the plate, and I can go up to my 3/8 inch plate. I've got 3 of them reserved to a different job. Those aren't available. And I've got 28 that are available for this job. That matches. For the half-inch by 48, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9 is 14, which is the half by 48 and 12 half by 96. So that does match what looks like should be available in FabSuite. I'm going to nest just running one click. I think it looks cool, so we're going to watch it run with one click. Again, my plate list has these 3 sizes of plates that we just saw, and we can watch it nest.
One click is a way of running automatically through ProNest, where it automatically takes all the parts and part lists and does all of the processes you need to do beyond nesting, producing crops, saving out the remnants, producing reports.
Yep, and I have it. It just saved my remnants. I even had it save my skeletons. And it's sending that out to CNC now. Then it's creating, FabSuite has a custom report that we create to come back to FabSuite. So we've got a rectangular remnant and a not rectangular remnant that were generated by these 2 nests. We're going to bring them back to FabSuite. In that same combining run, we just import nested parts from HTML. This is the custom report. We can bring it in, you can see it combined onto 2 nests. And I can click View Nest and it will show me. This is the nest that ProNest created. And we've got the remnant from ProNest, the skeleton from ProNest, and each of the parts that are on this nest somewhere. So you can see that remnant is the oddly shaped one that's on the 3/8 inch plate. The other one is a 1/2 inch plate, and we've got a remnant there, a skeleton, and just the 3 parts. So I'm going to save these to FabSuite inventory. And then we'll go look at them in inventory. So here's our 2 plates. I can double click them and see the nest information again. So it's the same screen I showed you before. And for these also, they show on the bottom right-hand corner the details of each of the parts nested onto the plate there. So now that these are cut, they've been sent to the machine, I'm going to take them from stock in FabSuite. Taking from stock marks them cut in the production control job. It also removes this plate from inventory and puts the 2 remnants, the remnant and the skeleton, back in inventory. So you can see 1 disappeared and 2 appeared there. If I double click it, it shows me the shape of it. That one's the skeleton there. And there's another field that I just added. It's not actually released yet, but I wanted to show it off to you. It's called remnant name. And it will show you in FabSuite the name that was given to the remnant when it was saved in ProNest. So we'll reload that inventory here. And then we can see the RM9507N1 and SK9507N1. Those are the ProNest names for these 2 remnants. So now we're going to nest onto this non-rectangular remnant. Oh, first I have to unreserve them because we want them to be available to be nested by a different job. So we're going to go open a different job. This is one I imported earlier. It's a much bigger job. So there's my bill of material. If we look at just the plates and scroll through them quick, you can see there's quite a bit of plate work in this job. So I'm going to nest some 3/8 inch plates, and I'm going to choose small ones so that we can make sure they're going to fit on that remnant. So we'll nest just like we did before. I'm going to change my filters a little bit to set my width and length to just 14 inches. And we'll do a 3/8 inch plate again. Just the one size this time. ProNest is still my nesting software. And here are my parts ready to be sent over to ProNest. I give it a due date. Just like always, this time I'm going to include sheets and remnants. I'm giving remnants a higher priority, so they're going to be nested on first. I'm going to come over to ProNest. Here's my parts. And you can see that right away, it's bringing up that remnant as the thing I'm going to nest first onto. We're going to go ahead and run one click again. You'll see here's our plate list. I've got my first plate is the big remnant. My second plate is the skeleton. My third plate is just inventory from FabSuite. So I think it's cool that it nests onto a skeleton. I know in your shop, you'll probably cut them up and not nest onto them. So once again, it's running the nest. It's going to crop it for these.
ProNest can also do common line cutting and bridge cutting for these parts, which comes in play heavily with petting house type machines.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing. I just don't know how to do it, so you get to watch me do the one click. So it's creating, now it's already sent to the machine, it's creating the report for FabSuite. And just like we did before, we're going to bring it back into FabSuite. And here's our 4 nests. We'll just look at them real quick. It's exactly what we expect. It's nested onto that remnant. This one's nested onto the skeleton. We've got the really full plate here. And finally, the plate that had a remnant left. So just like before, we can save it to inventory, and we'll see that inventory be used. The RC on the left shows us that these are reserved and combined. You can see that both the remnant and the skeleton have now been reserved and combined with parts on them. And we can, of course, double click and see that nest again. So that's what I wanted to show you, the full life cycle of a nest going back and forth. I think I'm ready for questions now.
Okay, so Stephen, are there any more slides that you need to go through, or?
Yeah, there's a couple. I'll switch back over to myself.
Okay, and so while we're doing that, Amy, there is one question for you. Someone wants to know if FabSuite will import IGES files, IGES files.
I do not believe that FabSuite will take in an IGES file.
Okay.
It will take in a CIS2 file, and I believe that those are easy to generate from IGES files.
Great. Okay, so Stanley, if you have a follow-up question, go ahead and you can type that in. All right, so Stephen, it's all yours.
Are we seeing a page that says summary?
I think so. That's what I see on my screen.
Very good. So in summary, we just showed you a comprehensive integration between Hypertherm, ProNest, and FabSuite, which is available for all users of these products. Incremental integration costs may be applied depending on what products you own, such as if you have inventory or not. When integrated, ProNest and FabSuite offer extended benefits of reduced working capital, reduced order to ship time, time savings, error reduction, higher percentage of on-time deliveries, and full data-driven applications. Integration implementation is fast, easy, and offers an excellent ROI. For those of you who'd like to learn more about this integration, should contact Hypertherm, FabSuite, or their local representative. For existing ProNest customers without FabSuite, you can contact FabSuite to request a FabSuite demonstration. For FabSuite users without ProNest, you can contact Hypertherm to request a ProNest demonstration and trial. If you don't have either, you can contact your local representative of either product, and we'll get you set up. Here are the different offices' phone numbers. Again, this will be in the slides we'll send you to, and our Hypertherm CAM website and FabSuite website. And now we're ready for more questions too.
Okay, so you can go ahead and type in any questions that you might have for Steve or Amy. On the right-hand side of your screen, you should see something that says questions, and you can type it in and hit send or submit, and we will see that. So Amy and Steve,
I did post an answer.
You did post an answer. Okay, thank you, Amy. So Amy and Steve, if someone has both ProNest and FabSuite, it's not automatically integrated, correct? You need to do something so that the two different software packages are communicating with each other, or is it automatic?
It is not automatic. Usually you have to purchase DataSync from ProNest. And once DataSync and ProNest are running and talking to each other, it's a rather quick setup, but there is some setup that you have to do.
Okay, so just because someone has both software, just because they have both ProNest and FabSuite, it doesn't mean they can automatically start utilizing what you just showed us then.
No,
probably we need ProNest, FabSuite, and DataSync. Go ahead, Steve.
Right, that's correct. And we can set you up with a trial of DataSync if you don't already have it. It's just one of those optional modules that you may or may not need depending on your setup.
Okay. All right, so I don't see any, oh, here are questions. Okay, so, yeah, so here we go. So we've answered that first question. If I have ProNest 2017 in FabSuite, is this feature available, or will I need to purchase the integration? So we've answered that. You just need to get the DataSync module, which is available from ProNest. Next question, how do you make sure that the plate types and sizes are the same between ProNest and FabSuite?
Okay, this is actually a really useful question. FabSuite and ProNest both contain a materials database, and we kind of call our materials differently. You'll see that in FabSuite, for example, plate is called a PL, and in ProNest, usually it's MS because it's mild steel, unless it's aluminum or stainless. So we have inside FabSuite, and I could show this. Let's see.
Okay. We'll make you the presenter.
My screen, yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, Amy, you are the presenter again if you want to pull it up on your screen.
Okay. Let me, I think this does it. Okay, can you see FabSuite now?
We can.
Okay, so in FabSuite, in the shapes, grades, sizes, this is where we maintain all of the materials in FabSuite. And so it's the plate that pertains to ProNest. And if we come in here, each grade of plate has a field for a ProNest designation. So we have to make sure that this matches whatever we want the material called in ProNest. There are some dimensions, and I don't know whether I have this set up. Gauge plate is famous for also having a slight difference between ProNest and FabSuite and how thick we think it is. So we have a field here where you can denote what thickness ProNest calls this gauge plate if it doesn't match what FabSuite calls it. So you can match both of those, and then we can export our entire nestable shapes to ProNest doing this. And we do that, we import that into the ProNest materials database, and then FabSuite and ProNest have the same materials and grades. Does that answer the question?
I think so. Keith, if your question was not answered and want to send a follow-up, please do so. The next question is, where do you determine the material thickness and grade?
That is part of the properties that are brought in with the KISS file for a part. So we can see this is the first job I nested. Here's my plate. This plate is 1 inch thick, 18 inches wide, and 1 foot 6 inches long. So it's a property of the material, really. It's a property of the part in our bill of material, and it's a property of the inventory item as well. If we look at the plates we have in inventory, each of these have a thickness first, and then the width, and then the length.
There's a question here on the report that you get, and that's a report that's set up in ProNest. It doesn't require data sync. We can supply that. It's right now we're only supplying it for FabSuite. Yeah.
Right. We have a link within FabSuite to download the report, and you put it into ProNest.
Okay, so go ahead, Amy.
Oh, sorry. The next question here says, will this work with all ProNest software, or is the new version required? The new version is not required. We've recently made quite a bit of updates to it, and so I would say there's advantages to getting the new version. But the updates that we've made, I believe, also work with the old version. I don't have 2015 or 2012 currently running. I don't have current licenses for those. So I know that it works with 2017. I just showed it with 2017. In the last couple releases of FabSuite, we have had a lot of ProNest improvements. And so if you have been running, I see the next question here with Chasey's been running and had some problems, I would say let's get you updated to the newest version of both ProNest and FabSuite and see if those problems get ironed out just by being up to date.
Okay. Next question, Amy or Stephen. Is there a setup for bringing parts from CAD to FabSuite?
Yes, there is. We bring them in on import. There's not really any setup options if you have the CAD parts in DXF or in NC1 format. They come in automatically with your import. Or after you've imported your job, you can import CNC files directly into your job. It's production control CNC files, and then you can load CNC files here. And you just point it at a directory, and it will bring them all in.
Okay. Where do you track heat numbers is our next question.
Okay, we track heat numbers in inventory. Let's see if I've got them showing here. I do have them showing, but I haven't given any heat numbers to my inventory because I'm lazy. And because these aren't, this isn't a real production job. So when you receive inventory into FabSuite, you give it a heat number. This heat number will be tracked, and when a part is cut out of a piece, when a part is cut out of inventory in FabSuite, that heat number will also be associated with the part. So you have part level tracking for all of your heat numbers. Or heat tracking for all of your parts is really what I meant to say.
Okay. Next question, where do you enter your new inventory? Do you do that in FabSuite or do you do that in ProNest?
You do it in FabSuite. There is an exception. If when you set up the integration, you have a lot of inventory in ProNest, you can do an import from ProNest to FabSuite. But in general, FabSuite is the owner and the manager of the inventory. And when they're running together with the sync, then FabSuite keeps ProNest's inventory and not the other way around. So FabSuite will update ProNest inventory with everything that's been received. And ProNest has the primary mechanism of getting remnants back is through that combining run import. Does that make sense?
It does to me, but again, Keith, if you have a follow-up, please go ahead. So the last question, Stephen, do you see that? Well, it's not the last question anymore. Do you see that one? Is FabSuite a software that just a nester like me can use along ProNest? Or is it something the whole company would have to use?
FabSuite could be used just by that one user, but it is a ERP type system, similar to what you're saying you use Epicor. FabSuite is more dedicated, I believe, Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, but for the construction industry, taking a whole job and managing that whole job and releases and schedules of releases of material throughout that whole building.
That's true. Yeah, it's specifically designed for something like that. Certainly one person could use it, and certainly the whole company could use it.
Okay. Next question, and right now this is looking like our final question. Is there a place that you can give each part number a description? If so, are you limited to how many characters you can use to describe a part?
Okay, a part in a job. Let's look if I can get that job back open. Here we go. I would say there are fields that can be used for things like description. Category and subcategory. There's a remarks field somewhere. It doesn't look like one that I'm showing. Those are all mappable on import, so you can have anything that's imported. Oh, here's the remarks field. I'm just blind. We don't have a specific description field, but any of these three fields could be used the way you're describing, and I don't know of any character limitations on them. I guess I could try typing 50A's and see what happens.
Okay. So it does not look like we have any more questions. So thank you, Amy and Steve, for your presentation and for fielding all these questions. Thank you to the attendees who have joined us this afternoon or again this morning, depending on where you are located. Again, you will receive an email early next week with the slides, a recorded version of this webinar, so you can watch that if you want colleagues or want to share it with anyone, and then also a certificate of attendance, because we do know that some of you like to track training hours, so you'll receive that as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We have one more question here.
Oh, we did?
This other
okay.
The subcategory
right.
printing on a cut sheet. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean a cut sheet out of FabSuite or a cut sheet out of ProNest? If it's out of ProNest, I do not think that it will print on a ProNest cut sheet, but it can be made to print on a FabSuite cut sheet.
Okay, yes, and it looks like the person followed up. Yep, out of FabSuite is what they're saying.
So if you have a hard time getting it to show up on your cut sheet, call into FabSuite support and they'll walk you through it. If need be, we have ways to write custom reports for you.
Terrific. Okay, well, thank you again. As maybe not a reminder, but just wanted to let you know that May 18th, we have another webinar on ProNest. It will explain the newest features of our ProNest 2017 major version update that just came out this week. So if you're interested in seeing exactly what's new and seeing a tutorial and learning exactly how to use those features, that will be happening on May 18th.